Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the No DQ live recap of Monday Night Raw for August the 31st, 2020. This was the post-payback edition of Raw, and now we have a nice 4 weeks until the next WWE pay-per-view, which is Clash of Champions on September 27th. Let's go ahead and get started with the Raw recap. Shout out to everybody in the chat room. Even Vince Out of Touch McMahon is in the chat room right now. We kicked off Raw with the intro, the pyro, and then Randy Orton came out for the opening promo segment. He talked about giving Drew McIntyre 3 punts and said that McIntyre deserved to have a fractured jaw. Orton brought up the series of triple threat matches where the winners would go on, or not triple threat matches, a series of one-on-one matches, 3 one-on-one matches with the winners of those matches going on to a triple threat at the end of the show. There, I got it. Orton brought up how he was going to be facing Kevin Owens, but he should not have to face Kevin Owens to qualify for a match to qualify for a WWE title opportunity, because he is entitled to a WWE opportunity as far as he's concerned. And then Orton asked, will Drew even make it to Payback? Orton showed this photoshopped image of all of his victims, Edge, Christian, Shawn Michaels, and the list goes on. Big Show. Keith Lee came out, who is fresh off of his victory at Payback against Randy Orton. It said that at Payback, Orton basked in his glory. And Orton is just trying to forget about what happened by coming out and talking about being entitled for a WWE Championship opportunity. We had Dolph Ziggler, remember him? Dolph Ziggler showed up and attacked Lee from behind. We went to a commercial break, and when we returned, there was the first of 3 singles matches to determine the participants in a triple threat match to determine who's going on to Clash of Champions. It was Ziggler versus Keith Lee. Ziggler was bumping like crazy for Lee, but I think this match went on too long. Here's my issue. Dolph Ziggler put up a bigger fight than Randy Orton. This match went longer than the Payback match. Just saying. Keith Lee should have been done with this scrub in 3 minutes tops. But anyways, Ziggler hit a zigzag, got a near fall, and then Ziggler went for the super kick, got countered into the spirit bomb. Keith Lee wins to move on to the triple threat match for a chance to go to WWE Clash of Champions. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat, first one of the evening. He says, should Keith Lee steal Bobby Roode's theme song? Bobby Roode's theme song. No, because that would be a heelish thing to do. I would not mind one of the random heels in WWE stealing the music just for fun. Hey, maybe King Corbin could do that for Heat. But yeah, not Keith Lee. He's too nice of a guy to do that. Backstage, we had Shayna Baszler with Nia Jax interviewed about their victory. And Nia said that Shayna stayed out of her way. And Shayna said that she did all the work, and Nia said she's the one that threw Sasha and Bayley around the ring, and that's how Shayna was able to pick up the win. Asuka then appeared. There was a heated confrontation between the ladies. And then we had Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, WWE official, backstage with the Keystone security, making sure that Retribution doesn't wreak havoc on this show, and Pierce even threatened to have these Keystone security guys replaced if they do not keep Retribution out of the arena. TJS with a $2 super chat. Thank you for that. He says, how long until Keith Lee becomes the next Brodus Clay / Otis? I do not think that will happen. I hope not. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic that he will not go down that route. Caleb Jacobs with a $3.54 super chat. Welcome back, Caleb. He says, will you talk about Brock Lesnar later? Probably not tonight, but I'm sure it will be a hot topic on the No DQ review coming up this Thursday. We already have a lot of big topics to discuss. More Ranallo is leaving WWE. Brock Lesnar, no under contract. A lot of stuff to talk about, but that will be for the No DQ review. We got to save some of it for the panel. We had Asuka come to the ring for an interview, and she talked about her next potential challenger, said she has beaten Bayley, Sasha, Becky, etc. Asuka said she's ready for anything. This led to Mickie James coming out and saying that she's coming for the title. Natalya showed up with Lana. Lana said Mickie is stuck in the past. She's delusional. She's had the same ring gear since 1998. A fight broke out between the ladies. And then when we returned from commercial, we had a Connor's Cure segment. Then we had a recap of Raw Underground and the Hurt Business doing their thing. And then backstage, we had the Viking Raiders with Cedric the Entertainer and the Bachelor girl who is still on WWE television. Why, I don't know. And the good guys left. Angel Garza showed up with a rose. He is still trying to win the heart of the Bachelor girl. Then we had Mickie James and Lana begin their match. So poor girls were just standing there in the ring this entire time when all these other segments aired. They finally had their match. Asuka was on commentary. Audio issues. Was it Retribution? Probably. Mickie James picked up the victory with the Mick kick. I guess Mickey's going to get an opportunity at Asuka. It'll be a rematch from their TakeOver Toronto match a couple years back. I think it was 2016, and that's the match that led to Mickie James coming back to WWE full time. Interesting match here to see Mickie James picking up some momentum, and maybe she will get a push now after all. We all thought maybe she would just be an afterthought, but now she could be potentially the next challenger. We had Randy Orton coming out of Aleister Black's locker room, and then we had the Iconics interviewed in the backstage area. And it was revealed that the Iconics would be facing Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan. Winning team gets a tag team title opportunity. Losing team must disband. Why WWE would want to break up a team when they already lack tag teams in the women's division, I have no idea. Don't get it, but whatever. Iconics cut this promo about being best friends since high school, and they wanted to become WWE superstars together. I felt like this promo pretty much gave away what was going to happen in that match. We had our singles match, second singles match to determine the triple threat participants, to determine who goes on to Clash of Champions. It was Randy Orton versus Kevin Owens, but Aleister Black, still with the eye patch, jumped Owens during Owens' entrance. I gotta say, stupid babyface for Kevin Owens, because we saw Randy Orton coming out of Aleister Black's locker room. Owens should have had eyes in the back of his head. Stupid babyface. Stupid. So Aleister beat up Owens and then threw Owens into the ring. Owens refused to have the referee stop the match. He insisted on the match going on as scheduled. Bell rang. Owens chopped. Orton tried to punch him, but he was completely out of it. Orton hit the RKO, picked up the easy victory over KO. TJS with a $2 super chat says, Randy Orton had 3 full entrances tonight. That he did, 1 for each hour. When it's a 3-hour show and you're Randy Orton, you get 3 entrances. He's a 3rd-generation star. We had the Rey Mysterio family interviewed, and it was revealed that Rey Mysterio is injured again. This time, it's a torn triceps, according to WWE, and that's the same injury Edge had. He's been out of action since, probably will not return until the Royal Rumble, so this could potentially make Mysterio's WrestleMania chances very low as far as being part of the show. It sucks. I mean, Rey Mysterio has been very injury prone, and this is pretty much the worst time to get injured when there's this big storyline. And I was really thinking we were going to get one more Rollins versus Mysterio match, maybe Hell in a Cell, to end the feud once and for all. Mysterio said he was hoping for closure, but his loss is Dominic's gain. Dominic said his confidence is at a whole new high, and he's got a 619 with Seth Rollins' name on it. We had the VIP lounge. MVP Shelton Benjamin. They brought out the new U.S. champion, Bobby Lashley. Lashley said he understood Apollo's frustrations attacking him after the match, but said he will get Apollo back. Shelton vowed to beat Apollo like a little punk on Raw Underground. But they're going to focus on their 6-man tag team match first. Cedric Alexander came out, and he said he did not have a change of heart. That led to the Viking Raiders jumping the Beatdown Clan 2.0 from behind. And then we had our 6-man tag team match. Cedric was taking a beating. MVP was trash talking. And then Lashley and Shelton tried to prevent the Viking Raiders from being able to tag in the ring. MVP went for his drive-by kick, but he missed. Cedric rolled up MVP, scored the 1-2-3 victory, and then after the match, the Hurt Business continued to beat up Cedric Alexander. They beat him up backstage. Apollo and Ricochet, Cedric's buddies, came to the aid. And by the way, that beatdown was backstage. Just wanted to make that clear. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat says, why do you call Lashley Bob the Lash? I honestly forgot the reason why I started calling him Bob the Lash, but it kind of became a running thing in the live streams. So maybe TGS would know because he gets a kick out of it. The origins of Bob the Lash. We had the Iconics versus the Riot Squad. And this was the match to determine who would be the next tag team challengers and who would disband as a tag team. You had Ruby and Billie Kay exchanging pinfalls, and then Ruby stacked up Billie, got the win, which means no more Iconics. The two of them were upset, of course. They hugged. If this is really the end for the Iconics, why not build up this match and put it on pay-per-view? Why just randomly announce it on Raw and split them up without any real build or fanfare. Kind of sucks if it's really the end of them as a tag team. We had a recap of the Rey Mysterio and Seth Rollins storyline. Rollins came to the ring. He yelled at Murphy for costing them the match at Payback. He said he cannot have any mistakes in his match against Dominic. And he told Buddy to get the hell out of his ring. He slapped Murphy in the head as Murphy took his leave. Little continued tease of a split between these two. We had Dominic take a shot at Murphy as Murphy was leaving. And then we had our match, Rollins versus Dominic Mysterio. Another good match here. Dominic looking solid. Countered the buckle bomb by drilling Rollins' head into the mat. Hit him with one of those spinning DDTs. Did a dive over the top. You had the family watching, and they were nervous about the outcome of the match, even though Dominic was doing well. Dominic hit the 619 and then went up to the top, went for the Eddie Guerrero frog splash, but he missed, and Rollins hit the curb stomp and picked up the victory over a very game Dominic Mysterio. But then, the bastard he is, Rollins hit a second curb stomp after the match was over, and the Mysterio family very upset. I should also note that Rey's daughter was there as well, and it looks like Rey is and I'm not really surprised by this, but the shortest member of the Mysterio family. I feel bad because I wanted to see this storyline end on a happy note with Mysterio's family winning this feud against Rollins. Now maybe Dominic will come back and they'll do one more Dominic Rollins match. Maybe that will be the Hell in a Cell match. And Dominic beats Rollins finally and ends the feud. And Rollins can go off and be there for the birth of his child. Next up we had Raw Underground. And Michael Gonzalez says, do not forget to mention the return of Riddick Moss. I know, because that is so important. That's what we got to focus on here. We had Titus O'Neil beating up a guy. He beat up a second guy. And then Riddick Moss made his big, impactful moment. And he beat up Titus O'Neil. Knocked him out. And won the third, technically, Raw Underground fight of the evening. But I guess he won the first segment. Last man standing in the first segment. We'll just put it that way. We had the Street Profits with a very cringy Coach Dawkins scouting report. And Montez Ford said that Andrade looks like he smells something nasty. And they made fun of Zelina Vega for being too short to get on the amusement park rides. This was the build-up for their Tornado Tag Team match later on. We had Tozawa arrive in a SUV with his ninjas. However, the security guy said that their name is not on the list. Tozawa had to double-check this list and realized the list was blank. This led to Tozawa revealing that the attendant was actually a referee. And R-Truth did the fruit roll-up, won the 24/7 Hardcore 95 South Championship 7-11, and took off. Tozawa got in the van and drove off trying to chase after R-Truth. It is what it is. I do not care about the 24/7 title. I have little to no interest in the 24/7 title. But keeps on rolling. We had the Street Profits versus Team Vega, Andrade, and Garza. Dawkins got beat up for a while, 2-on-1. The heels tried to work on one guy and then work on the other. Ford came in to make the save, but then just as he was doing the Ultimate Warrior shaking, we had the lights flickering. Garza freaked out and took off with the Bachelorette girl. They left. Retribution arrived, which means as soon as they arrive, it puts all the cameramen in a trance because they start shaking the camera and zooming in and out. They go crazy whenever Retribution arrives, more than they already do. Retribution, they could have chosen any moment to make an impact. They could have shown up at SummerSlam. They could have shown up at Payback. They could have interfered in the main event of Monday Night Raw. They chose this match. Wow. Remember when the NWO came out and crashed one of the cruiserweight matches? I mean, they did, but when they came out, they were going after the big guys. They were going after the Macho Man. And they were going after Ric Flair and the Four Horsemen. I'm talking about 96. I know they did come out and beat up the LWO. But when the NWO first got started, I mean, they actually went after everybody, but they targeted the big stars. They were going after the top players. They weren't messing around with the random matches on the show, like Renegade versus Scott Norton or something. We had Adam Pearce backstage. By the way, Zelina Vega got beat up as well. And breaking news, Big Show's show got canceled by Netflix. We will not be talking about that on the No DQ review. Just saying. Adam Pearce was irate at the security, the Keystone security. But apparently they're keeping their jobs because he told them to go back out there and do their jobs properly. Psycho Jet Black with a $2 super chat. Thank you, Psycho. I appreciate it. He says, I hate Montez Ford's rope shaking. It looks awful. I think that's kind of funny, but I mean, that's not something I'm going to complain about compared to the cringy comedy. Like, I'll take the Ultimate Warrior rope shaking over any of their comedy segments. We had another segment from Raw Underground with the MMA Horsewomen. They beat up a couple of people, including Billie Kay. Peyton Royce threw Billie Kay onto the ring, and then the MMA Horsewomen beat the crap out of poor Billie. They knocked her out. So yeah, that nice feel-good moment with the Iconics, that's done with, and I guess Peyton Royce is going to get a singles run. We'll see how long that lasts. We had Team Apollo, or Team Catering. Apollo, Ricochet, and Cedric Alexander interviewed. Apollo said the old Apollo is gone. Maybe Vince approached him and said, I want the new Apollo. I totally biffed that line because Vince wanted the old Austin. He said the old Apollo is gone. He's the new Apollo. He's more determined. He's more focused. So maybe Vince can come back and say, I want the old Apollo back after what happened on this show. We'll get to that here in a second. I just totally biffed the line, but I recovered there. TJS with a $5 super chat says, Bob the Lash originated, thank you for this, TJS. Bob the Lash originated because he was very flat as a babyface. Also, Pain Posse sounds way better than the Hurt Business. Dean Norris looks rough. And he spelled that R-U-F-F. Thank you for that, TJS again. I appreciate it. So, Ricochet said MVP only cares about himself and money. And then we had Apollo versus Shelton Benjamin in the Raw Underground fight. They ended up falling off the ring onto the Hurt Business. There was a huge brawl, and Hurt Business submitted all three guys. All three got beat up. Now I can use my line. I can lose my line and then use it. I can lose it after using it. Now, after seeing this, Vince can come out and say, I want the old Apollo back. Yeah, her business just completely made a mockery out of these three chumps, Ricochet, Cedric, and Apollo. Hashtag Team Catering. We had Angel Garza backstage with the Bachelorette woman. Retribution showed up. They beat up one of the Keystone security guys. And then Angel ran off, leaving the Bachelorette girl alone. And she ran off too. And that was that for Retribution on this show. They were done for the evening. They made their impact. They scared off Angel Garza and the Bachelorette girl. And I'm guessing she'll be back next week because she keeps showing up. Like, why, I don't know. Would not surprise me. We had our main event of the evening, the triple threat match. Randy Orton versus Keith Lee versus Seth Rollins. Rollins was upset because Orton fled to the outside of the ring right away. Rollins thought they were going to work together against Keith Lee, which eventually they did. After the commercial, they did work over Lee, but then Orton turned against Rollins. And then Lee made a big comeback. He pounced Orton on the outside, which looked pretty cool. Rollins went for the stomp, but then Lee hit the Spirit Bomb. However, right after he hit the Spirit Bomb, we had Randy Orton come in, RKO to Keith Lee. He stumbled over Lee to go over and pin Rollins and score the victory, which means at Clash of Champions, it will be Randy Orton one-on-one with Drew McIntyre, a rematch from SummerSlam for the WWE Championship. Not surprised by this. And Lee did not take the pinfall, so that's fine. Raw was an okay show. I did not think it was great or anything. I am going with a B- for this week's Raw. The Raw Underground stuff and Retribution brought it down for me a bit, but some of the show was pretty good. Main event was fine. What did you guys think in the chat room? Kev gives the show a C+. Christian Ramirez with a C because of the Iconics. And J-Spin 401 with a D. Matt Helms with a B-. Tyson with a B. And D-Ross2 with a C. The Game is on 100 with a C. Michael Wayne, hope you're doing well, Michael, with a C+. And Ethan Cruz with a B+. Anthony with a C. Brandon with a B, and CC Drink with a B-. And Gary, thoughts on Ronaldo? Very sad about it, but I'll talk more about that with the No DQ panel on Thursday. Thank you guys for tuning in tonight. I appreciate it. Live streams coming up all this week on NoDQ.com. But hold on. Ken Terminated by DQ with the $5 super chat says, I wish more on Ronaldo. Nothing but the best. Ronaldo is the modern-day Gordon Soley. I dare say he's the best top broadcaster since Jim Ross. And I agree with that, Ken. I agree about more Ronaldo. DJW with a $5 super chat says, my main man Aaron, $5 super chat. Thank you for that, DJW. I really do appreciate it. I don't know if Ronaldo is going to go to AEW or not. I think he could continue doing his sports broadcasting, and his mom is sick. I think he would prefer to just keep a low profile, but never say never. He could always end up in AEW, but I think he would want to stay on good terms with WWE and come back if there's an opportunity down the line and he feels up for doing it. He's going to be missed for sure. Wade Barrett, I'm guessing, will fill in the role permanently, doing the commentary along with Vic Joseph and Beth Phoenix. I really liked Mauro Ranallo. I know he wasn't everybody's cup of tea, and he was always at 100% as far as intensity goes. But to me, he made it exciting to watch. But we'll talk more about Ranallo coming up on the No DQ review. I'll be back Tuesday night with the NXT recap, a special Tuesday night edition. We got the Iron Man match. And then Wednesday night is AEW. Stay tuned for all that. NoDQ.com, the latest wrestling news and rumors. Keep up to date. And make sure you guys give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Tell a friend. And I will see you guys next time.